is up, guys? Welcome back to South Louisiana. It is December. It is 82 degrees outside, and that means we're getting closer and closer to Christmas in Cajun country. It's always a toss-up here on weather. It's either going to be icy, freezing cold one day and 82 degrees, for example, the next day, or it's going to be, who knows? It goes up and down so much. 2022 is almost over. That is weird to say. We are already here approaching Christmas. We're already approaching New Year's. And then before you know it, it's gonna be big time indoor season, which indoor season's already here. Like, it's already time to be putting in the reps, in my opinion. I actually just finished up a solid practice this morning. I've been trying to deal with getting too comfortable on a roll. I've been shooting really, really well lately, the highest X counts I've ever shot. But once I get in that roll, that rhythm of X's where it feels effortless, I start to get too relaxed. And when you get too relaxed, you get complacent. When you get complacent, bad things happen. So I've been really trying to work on trying to be in the moment a little bit more. That way I don't get too relaxed when things start to flow. This morning it actually paid off. Had a nice 29X round this morning, which I've had multiple 29X rounds over and over and over. And it's always that 1X, always 1X. And that comes down to mental. That's just mental game. And so, I mean, this morning, where I'm finding my issues are at is the transition between aiming and executing. So connecting that transition a little more solidly is my goal. Solidly, that's a word. So after that 29X round, I was like, all right, I'm gonna do one more, and ended up getting my first 30X round.
That's what I'm talking about.
Really focusing on one thing at a time, and for me this morning, that was it. But today, I have something new coming in the mail. I'm excited to put it on my bow. I've been shooting for a company called Competition Bowstrings. They're a local string builder here in the Lafayette area. They build phenomenal strings. It's actually my buddy Logan who owns that company. He's had a lot going on with work and just kind of moving into his next chapter in life, which is awesome. I'm excited to see what he's gonna do in that next chapter. But he told me I'd be better off finding another string company to work with. After doing some research and playing around and looking around, talking to some friends, Colton and Beverly Hamilton, they were telling me about this new company that they're working with, and that is Joey's Bowstrings. I got a pair on order for Kayla's bow, and we set those up for her, and I actually was really impressed. I decided to reach out and see if there was any possibility of me being able to work with him this year. So thankfully, he's given me the opportunity to shoot for his company, and I'm excited to put those strings on. So today, that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be installing a set of Joey's Bowstrings, and I'll settle them in, kind of show y'all what they're all about, and then probably do another video down the road, just updating on how well they've held up, how long the break-in period was, and whatnot. But that's what we're gonna be doing today. So I will see y'all back at the shop. All right, guys, it has been a couple days since I recorded the intro to this video. And ironically, as I was just talking about how it was 80 degrees in December, it is now, we've had days of pouring rain. And it is currently 43 degrees here in Lafayette, with a lot more rain to come, and we're going to get down into the 20s, it sounds like, before Christmas. So just goes to show you, the weather does not know what it wants to do here. But back at the house, and we are going to go get these old bowstrings off and slap on a fresh set of these Alpha Series bowstrings from Joey's, like I said earlier. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, so before we go into ripping these strings off of the bow and getting ahead of ourselves, first you want to take a few measurements. I've shot this bow for a couple months now. I've spent a lot of time tuning it. I've really figured out a setup that I like personally. So I don't want to go just tear the strings off and lose all of my settings. So first I'll measure peep height draw length, ATA, brace height, nose button if you have one. I'll measure the distance between my nose button and my peep just to give me a good starting point. And then I'll measure the draw weight. If you can measure the peak and holding weight, that's even better. Just allows you to fine tune everything a little bit tighter. And I want all of those numbers to be as close as possible to what I had before. That way I can recreate the feel that I had before. Granted, things will have to probably be slightly fine tuned here or there, moved around individually here or there. But at least having those numbers gives you a really, really solid starting point. And I've done it before where I've spent months enjoying a bow, loving the setup, and then I just tear the strings off without measuring anything, threw the new set on, and had to start from square one. And instead of just picking my bow up, breaking in the strings, and going straight back to shooting, I have to pick my bow up, break in the strings, and kind of refine where everything felt good and shot good, tuned good, etc. So that will save you some headache. One more extremely helpful thing to measure before tearing your strings off is your D-loop. I'll measure distance from my back end of the D-loop to the D-loop straightened out. I do run a really short D-loop, but slight differences in your D-loop length, especially if you're using back tension properly, can change the entire feel of the bow, in my opinion. So measure your D-loop, add that to the measurement list before you start tearing your strings off. Next step, out with the old, in with the new. Strings installed, bows on the draw board, leaving it drawn back just to kind of let it stretch out a little bit for a little while. Some people leave it sitting overnight. I only give it a few hours just to get a good pre-stretch on the strings before shooting them in. But I'm going to meet some friends real quick. I will see y'all in a few seconds of your time. So. Electrolyte packs, kind of like Liquid IV, but Ghost actually makes them, which I really, really like Ghost supplements. So, stir my pinky. Oh, yeah. All right, it's been a day since I threw the Joey's bowstrings on. Went through, I got everything remeasured. All I had to do once I put my new string on was I double checked my walk back tune, my torque tune, my creep tune, and once I had all those things checked out, I was pretty much back ready to rock. Initially when I drew the bow back with the new strings, the peep sat dead center all the way back, all the way forward, did multiple draws. Sometimes when changing strings, my holding weight or peak weight might be different just because of twists in the cables and string, but thankfully I didn't really have any changes here. I think it was like 0.2 of a difference on peak weight. Holding weight stayed the same, which I'm more concerned about holding weight than anything. I was grateful for that. That worked out well. So now it's just a matter of shooting the bow, getting back in the routine, and keeping this momentum rolling full steam ahead. I'm excited to be shooting them this year. I love the natural color on the tan riser. I love that tan. I love the tan on PSC's bows. But yeah, that's about it for this video. Kayla and I are getting ready to pack up, and we're headed to Missouri for Christmas with Kayla's family. And I'll probably swing by and shoot with a buddy out there, Springfield, Missouri area. We have a lot more videos coming soon. Kayla will actually be having a new video coming out on the channel on something that she's been smiling a lot about. So that'll be cool, so stay tuned for that. Other than that, y'all have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Don't forget the real reason for the season, and I'll see y'all next year. Later.